Going live. Live. You good?
So, hello. We're here to talk about maintaining the chaos. I'm Steve McDougall. A lot of you know me because I usually stand up here waffling a load of rubbish at you. I helped run BlueConf with a few people in the audience here. Been developing for about 9 years, and I'm a huge advocate of PHP. So, managing code quality. It can get quite confusing, right? We have all of these different applications. Most of what we do is we create unit tests and we just go, okay, can we prove that this business logic actually works? But unless you're using lots of all of these different tools like PHP CS, CS Fixer, code section, code coverage, then it's very hard to start to track how good your code actually is. So, an amazing quote I found online is, an evolving system increases its complexity unless work is done to reduce it. Great quote by a professor at Middlesex University. It wasn't the first one I found on Google, it's probably about the 5th or 6th, to be honest. But I think it highlights quite well that the longer your code is live and the more stuff you add to a production system, the more complex it gets. So you need to start to try and find ways to decrease that complexity, and what can you do to stop that? So the fight against chaos is what this talk's mainly about. I like to use tools because why do something that's going to take a lot of hassle when somebody has built a tool to do it for you? Enter, I can never say this right, but Grumpy PHP I'm going to call it. So, pretty cool logo. It's a very simple little PHP dependency. Pull it through Composer, make sure you add the dev flag because there's no point in making that live. And all this does, it will listen to your pre-commit hooks from Git. If you've ever tried to do this manually, it is an absolute nightmare. Trying to manage all of these different tasks that you can add to a pre-commit hook, programmatically, it's just not nice. So this tool takes all of that hassle away and allows you to write in YAML goodness. So not everybody likes YAML, but it's very nice for defining tasks. So what this gives you is a very nice Git directory, a binary directory, and then you can start to list out some tasks. So it allows you to configure things very nicely. So once you've added it, you get a cool little ASCII R. So it allows you to run them through commit hooks and they can be configured per task. So this is a perfect example of what I was doing for Dan, actually. I was converting one of his old microservices into a new microservice using PHP 7.3. And I decided I would use Grumpy PHP to maintain quality because we needed to start refining how we are going to create code as software engineers. So what you can see here, I am using PHP Blacklist. So what that will do, it will say, okay, give me a list of function names that you do not want to be able to call, and we won't let you commit if that is in your code. So you can drop out any debugging errors that you might be using while you're pushing it to Git. It allows you to keep your code quality very clean up at that top level of Git, so that your fellow engineers who might be pulling down that code isn't left with your mess. PHP CS Fixer, because while everybody likes to talk about standards, we all like to follow PSR2. Some of us accidentally don't follow PSR2 at some times. Have I added that extra space at the end of my file? Oh no, I failed. So I run PHP CS Fixer to ensure the quality is PSR2 when I'm committing. I run PHP Linter because, well, why not? It was another one on the list, so we'll give it a go and make sure I'm also hitting that quality too. Then I ran a security checker, which is the Senseo Labs security checker. And what that does, it takes the list of your composer dependencies, it will pass them over to the security checker API and say, are there any known vulnerabilities in the dependencies for this project? Which is really good, because that means that you can you can guarantee a certain level of security out the gate before you've even got your code up to Git, which for most people from a deployment process, it means that they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about all of these dependencies, managing any RFCs that might be out there, managing any security fixes that might have to be put in place, and worrying about what you're actually pushing out into their infrastructure. So what we'll do is we're going to break down a couple of tasks so that you can see that I'm not just talking a load of rubbish, and it's actually quite useful. File size checker, really random one, but sometimes when you're working with legacy code, you end up with a file that is, thousands of lines long. That isn't human readable, and that isn't quality. So what we do, we use a file size checker and say, okay, I don't want my size of a file I'm committing to be any bigger than 10 megabytes, 1 megabyte. You can be as really picky as you like with that one. It allows megabytes, gigabytes, kilobytes, whatever you want. List of patterns that can be ignored, and this is all based off of regex. So you can say, okay, ignore any files that has, controller.php, or ignore anything that I know is going to be a bit of a pain, maybe like a CSV file or a zip file, or even JPEGs if you really wanted to. So you can be very specific about what you don't want to be monitored. A Git blacklist, like what I explained earlier. So we're dropping the die, we're dropping the dump, which is the Symphony component, DD, which is a nice Laravel one, bottom, exit, print R. So what this does, this will just stop you from pushing debug code. I think Sarah in Slack gave a very good example of debug backtrace. I should probably add that one onto there, to be honest, because nobody wants that. So you can get whitelist patterns. I didn't add that one. Sorry, I didn't explain that one, but the docs are incredible. So, so triggered by what sort of file, what's going to trigger us checking this Git blacklist? My example, PHP, because this is a PHP application. This would work on a Node application. This would work on a Golang application, no matter the language. As long as you can use Composer, you can start using this, and you can start maintaining that quality. And then you've got your regex type. So if you really want to be very finicky about it, and you might be used to regex in different types, you can define that out here. PHP linting, one that I said I added just for the sake of it. Any directories to be excluded. Same whether you want short tags or no short tags. So there's a lot of debate in the PHP community usually about, should I do this or should I not do this? This allows you to make a decision and stop your fellow developers and make them follow your rules. And then triggered by, again, much like before, what sort of file extensions are we going to be looking at here for our linting? There's a lot more you can do with this, and even if I spoke about it about half an hour, but only scratch the surface. Next one. So, there's so many tasks already available. If you go to the Git repo for using McDougall PHP, and there's Doctrine ORM, there's PHP Stand, there's NPM, there's FAN, there's just so much. You can do various things on that Git line, and you can do things with PHP CS Fixer, PHP Fixer 2, you can use ORMs, you can write your own custom pre-commit hooks, so that you can do your own quality as a company. And it's really nice and easy to use, and it takes literally 5 minutes to set up. We've got some example config, you install it once, it creates a YAML file, off you go. You're stopping people committing crap code, which solves a lot of headaches. My typical config file includes about 15 tasks, varying from making sure I run PHP unit scripts before I deploy, to stopping debug code, making sure I'm following PSR2, checking code coverage for my tests, to PHP Stand, depending on if I'm really interested in static analysis for that specific project. So, maintaining code quality amidst the chaos is easier with tools, so stop struggling. And that is a fantastic quote I found online by myself. I always like to add a quote by myself because lessons learned from years past, code quality, it can creep up on you. Before you know it, you've got some really, really bad production code. You've got prints in places where you don't know they are, your tests aren't passing, you're not keeping up with what you should be doing. You're not doing your housekeeping. What this will do, it'll just take all of that hassle off your plate and it'll just let you get on with your job, making sure you write good code. So, thanks for listening. That's me. If you want to tweet any feedback, tweet me. Be as abusive as you like. Any questions?
Does it have to be run on pre-commit hooks in Git, or could it be run as part of CI, like it's part of your circle or something?
It's designed to run as pre-commit hooks. There are various tools that you can also use on that CI pipeline. Very good question, guys. I don't know. I've only ever used it on pre-commit hooks because I want to maintain the quality going to Git so that it looks like I write really good code when anyone else looks at it. Anyone else?
How easy would this stuff be if we can say like system and stuff and get the team involved?
As long as you're using Composer, or as long as you can use Composer, very easy. All you've got to do is add it in the project root where your Git directory would be for ease. You can add it to any directory, but if you add it to your main project directory, you can start defining your tasks. It is a 5-minute job to start adding it to any pre-commit hooks so that you can maintain them. Anyone else?
How often do you find meetups for an escape hatch committal and where commit hooks again?
More often than I believed I would, to be honest. I mean, this last week, for example, I kept getting errors on my code quality. I was like, oh, for God's sake, what's going on? I'd updated the dependency, and that had caused breaking changes in something that I was testing in my unit tests. And I was lazy trying to get stuff up to Git so that I could, get more out the door. And it kept failing. I was like, oh, come on, dude, I just added a -n, no, not interested, just push it up anyway. But then I looked at what the error message was when it was saying, no, you're a bad man. And I was like, oh, okay, my bad, run PHP unit, trace that back, fix my code, pushed it back up, it was all good. So it catches you out sometimes, code quality. Sometimes you forget to, wrap your code properly and you're not following PSR2 or you use spaces instead of tabs or tabs instead of spaces, depending on how you configure it, if you want to keep the standards. And sometimes you forget, or you've added a space somewhere because you accidentally did. It catches you out and makes sure that you're a little bit more strict about what you're committing. Anyone else? No. Thank you very much.